And we have tonight Steve Mason on your right and Gene Puckett of the Union Gap. No, I'm just kidding about that, but anyway, it's his cohort and his backup guy. So enjoy your time here and open your ears. You're going to like this.
All right. Thank you. What a voice on Kurt, man.
It's a radio voice.
Wow. Hi, everybody. Yeah, radio face. He said that, not me. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming out and braving the weather, and I'll try to wrap it up before the Chiefs game. Yeah. First off, Gene, when you asked me to do this, I agreed to do it. Then I immediately panicked because I was like, oh man, I can't talk in front of people. I need backup. So I called Gene. Gene's done almost all the same gigs I've done. And I don't know if anybody knows what I've done, or Gene, but Osmonds, Lennon Sisters, The Cowsills, The Lettermen, Mary Wilson. Who else, Gene?
Glenn Campbell.
Glenn Campbell, yeah.
I worked with Leslie Gore.
Well, he's done more than I've done.
There's more. I've got notes. I should
Get your notes out.
Forget everybody.
Yeah.
Doug Kershaw.
Fifth Dimension, yeah.
The Fifth Dimension, that's right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Colin Raye.
Colin Raye, yeah. We were with the Osmonds. I was with the Osmonds for 15 years. Gene was with them for like 20 years, I believe. So, yeah. Long run. And we had a lot of fun and a lot of miles. I'll just start talking about, my early musical, what got me into music. I had my family, there was nobody in my immediate family that had any musical talent at all. My mom had, a bunch of Elvis albums, and that was it. My grandpa was cousins with a guy named Lloyd Presley. Anyone know who Lloyd Presley is? Presley's. So we went down there a lot to see the Presley's country music show. And the first thing that I remember, first piece of music that I heard that made me excited about music was Herkimer came out with a guitar and played Walk, Don't Run.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, and it was great. And so my earliest musical influence is Herkimer. Herkimer and Elvis. Yeah. So, and I don't know why, my wife was asking me questions, about doing this. She says, like, how'd you start playing drums? Why'd you start playing drums? And I went, I actually have no idea. The Mr. Jackson, who was the central band leader back then, he went on to Glendale, came to York Elementary and just asked the students who was, this fifth grade, who was interested in joining the band. And I raised my hand for some reason, and he goes, yeah, what do you want to play? And I went, drums. I don't know why I didn't say guitar.
Right.
Yeah, Herkimer and all. Yeah. And that for some reason, that's how I became a drummer in the fifth grade. Yeah, and here I am. Then after that, I just started playing, in the school band and played in some local rock bands. Played at one of the first bar gigs I did. I think I was 15. I played at a place called Fletcher's. Anyone remember Fletcher's?
And he opened for my band Naked Zoo at Fletcher's. Remember Naked Zoo? Yeah.
Yeah, and now we play in that band together.
We do.
Do some gigs occasionally, yeah. But Fletcher's was a real nice place for a 15-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, and I remember opening for these guys. They were a little older, not much older. So I remember playing, and I had a broken ankle. For some reason, I'm playing drums with a broken ankle, foot's up on a bass drum, and they'd set off a smoke bomb, like a stink bomb, underneath me while I was playing. Couldn't go anywhere. So thanks, Gene. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Then just played in different local bands, playing at places like the Regency and Murphy's and the Juke Joint. Then I ended up at a club called Ramones. Anyone remember Ramones? I was in the house band there for 2 years, so I went from bad to worse, from Fletcher's to Ramones. It was, but it was a good training ground, because you had to learn new songs every week, and you learned really not what to do there. Number one, wear earplugs because you'll go deaf, and don't drink on the gig. Those are the two things I took away from there.
You broke that rule.
Yeah. Is that thunder?
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, after Ramones, I traveled around the country a little bit in various rock bands, just different kinds of rock bands, no one that got famous or any name like that. And then a bass player that I played with, that I traveled around with, called me, and he was playing with the Osmonds, with Gene. And Merrill Osmonds was looking to do a UK tour.
Yeah, solo tour.
Solo tour, yeah, in 2003. And the Osmonds, I don't know if you know anything about the Osmonds, they were huge in the 70s in the UK. Like, I had no idea. And my audition for the Osmonds gig, for Merrill's gig, was a TV show, a TV taping called, what was it, Starstruck?
Starstruck, yeah.
Yeah, and typical Merrill Osmond fashion, he gave me a list of like, or not a list, he gave me like 4 songs to learn, right? So I charted them out and learned them and went down there. And, typical Merrill, not only did I end up doing those 4 songs, but I had to play with Glenn Campbell was on the gig, on the show, a guy named Tony Roy, this Elvis impersonator, Rudy from the TV, the movie Rudy, remember that?
Yep.
What was the movie? Was it called Rudy?
Rudy.
Yeah, he was there. Anyway, I had to do all this other stuff on the fly. I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? And Glenn Campbell was really great, but there was one song, it was a duet with him and his daughter, they did, and that I got in advance, but then we ended up playing Rhinestone Cowboy with him or whatever. But poor Glenn, a week later is when he got arrested with the mug shot, the crazy hair, and looked pretty rough, So my uncle calls me and goes, didn't you just play with Glenn Campbell last week? What'd you do to him? So it wasn't my fault. Yeah, and there was, anyway, that was my audition. That's how I got the gig. And then after that, did we go straight to England, like around 2004?
Yeah.
Did about a month over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About 20-some dates with Merrill, yeah.
Yeah, and Merrill.
That was our first time over.
Yeah, first time over there. Merrill, God love him, he's a good guy, but everything he does is kind of half-assed a little bit, So we get over there, and the first gig, he decides that his throat hurts. So he decides he wants to play to a track, come out, and he wants to lip sync, right? So the track, I'll probably get in trouble for saying this.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I don't care.
Secret of the trade.
Yeah. So the first song, the track he had everything on it, drums and everything. Well, we're on in-ear monitors, so we're sitting there waiting to start, and all of a sudden I hear drums coming through the PA system. I was like, looking.
He had no count off.
Yeah, the monitor guy had my ears muted, so the track's starting through the big, massive amount of people. And I look over at the monitor guy, I'm going like this, trying to play along, and the monitor guy goes, finds it. Then finally I have monitors, but thankfully after that gig, Merrill dropped the track thing because it was stupid, but
the sound man hated it.
Yeah, sound man hated it and said it sounded terrible, of course. Anyway, that was my intro to the Osmonds. And that's, it went better for 15 years. But that was 2004, the beginning of 2004.
Then we did another tour with him in 2005.
Yeah.
And are you still going? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, go ahead.
And then in 2006, we went back over. Merrill did the first 2, but then we went back over in 2006 with Merrill, Jay, Jimmy, Wayne, and Alan joined for a few shows. He has MS, so
after
he got
that first tour, when it came back, I started playing with the Osmond brothers too. The whole family, And then we did. We started doing these things over there called the Once in a Lifetime tour.
That was after this tour that I was talking about.
Yeah. Which was ironic because we did it like 6 or 7 times. It was called Once in a Lifetime.
We had a final Once in a Lifetime tour.
Yeah.
But then we did a Legends tour after that.
Yeah, Legends Live. Yeah. But there were these package tours where it would be, the Osmonds, and the first one was the Osmonds and David Cassidy and the Bay City Rollers.
That was it, right on the first one?
David Essex. Yeah, a guy that...
He was big there. Rock On Here by David Essex, yeah.
He had like 40 top 10
was
hits
huge
over
over
there,
there,
yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, when we did those tours, we were playing like big arenas over there, So it was pretty
Wembley.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. We got to play Wembley every time we went over there, and, places you wouldn't think you would get to play when you're playing with the Osmonds. But
We got
over
to play
there...
the O2 Arena where Led Zeppelin did the reunion. That was fun.
A couple times, yeah. Played the Cavern Club, like later. Well, I'm jumping ahead. We would continue to go over there and do, like every other year, they would do an Osmond tour by themselves. And then the next year, they would do a once-in-a-lifetime tour again, with these different package groups. So, but we were over there, 2 or 3 months at a time normally? Yeah. So, but we got to play, we got to tour with, we didn't get to play with all these other people that were on the bill, but we'd do tours with Leo Sayer, who else?
Susie Quattro.
Yeah.
They won't know. It was like some British acts, called,
Yeah.
one was called Shawadawadi.
Oh, Hot Chocolate.
Hot Chocolate.
They were fun. They were cool.
Even miracles.
Yeah. Leo Sayer was a lot of fun to hang out with. He's about 5 foot and he's got the most foul mouth you would ever want to.
We'd be sitting there
You're on
eating
anybody.
dinner.
Yeah.
All the Osmonds and their kids would be there, and Leo would come in dropping the F-bomb left and right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's hilarious. I was sitting there at the table in catering, and Leo Sayer had a bunch of like famous drummers, like Steve Gadd played on his stuff, and I didn't know that. And over the course of the tour, we were talking about drummers. So I was sitting there with the Osmonds at the table, Jimmy and his kids, and Leo comes in and sits down and starts telling me the story about how Steve Gadd got off heroin at his house, and every other word was the F-bomb, and you could see Osmonds running for the doors, It was hilarious. But we got to meet a lot of really, really great artists and musicians, on that sort of deal. And, now what are we doing now, Gene?
I don't know. We started a group called Atlantic Crossing. We played some dates in the UK last year. Steve and I and Charlie Green. He was on British Idol or Britain Idol. It's like American Idol, but British Idol.
So it's like a
Charlie Green was a singer.
cover band. We everybody in the band, we play music by
Acts that we played with.
Yeah, like the bass players worked with Rod Stewart, so we do a couple Rod Stewart songs, and Charlie he's worked with everybody. So, and we play songs by of course the Osmonds and Colin Raye and different people. But during the course of the Osmonds too, we had a band called the Dropouts. Anyone ever remember the Dropouts? So we started that. We'd be with the Osmonds a lot, but when we had a weekend off, we were scrambling to try to find work. Everyone's picking up gigs with somebody else. So we thought, well, let's start our own band, find a singer, and start our own cover band. And that worked out great for, 10 years, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked out really well because when there was holes in the Osmond schedule, we filled it up with dropout gigs, playing casinos and bars. So that worked out real well. Of course, until, the Osmonds fire somebody or let somebody go, then it gets a little weird, But we had a good run for, better part of a decade. We were solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, also when we weren't with the Osmonds, we got to work with other artists that would come into town at Branson, and work at the Moon River Theater or wherever. The Lennon Sisters, we did a bunch of gigs with them. Anyone remember the Lennon Sisters? Yeah, I love them. They're the sweetest ladies on the planet.
Really
good to
are.
work with, yeah. Loved working with them. We did like 90 some odd shows with Colin Raye, country guy. Anyone remember him? Yeah, that guy. He had like 17 top
in the 90s.
Yeah, top 10 hits, but he had a hard time drawing in Branson for some reason. But it was a fun show. It was really, even though it was a country gig, it was
He was an old rocker.
He was.
He came out and jammed with the Dropouts 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, good guy too. Great singer. The Fifth Dimension, remember them? We did a season with them down there. They were fun. They kind of kept to themselves a little, but
Yeah.
but fantastic. I think Florence LaRue was the
She was the
main
original
lady.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest, everyone
with
else
them
had
for
passed
years.
away or moved on, But
Yeah.
who else? Oh yeah, Mary Wilson. Yeah, the Supremes. Yes. Yeah, Yeah, I know. Yeah. So we did a run with Mary Wilson, and the last night of that run was the night before I got married to my wife Paula here.
That was that long ago?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So since it was the last run of the show, everyone left the theater and went next door to the restaurant and had a little get together. But it was also, I was getting married the next day, so me and all the guys were there having a few drinks. And Mary Wilson came over and hung out, and we had a great time. And so I can now say that I had a Supreme at my bachelor party. So. Yeah.
I think Mary was sweet on me.
Was she?
Yeah, you don't remember that first practice that we had?
Oh, I do.
She got in. They got in late, and we rehearsed and didn't have time to eat. So I offered to go get her a hot dog at concessions, and I got her one. And she was just so thrilled. And then on stage, she said, "And this is Jean back here," and doesn't have a lovely smile. And she was sweet on me the whole time, I think.
Yeah, that was so. You remember when she got there? We got. The first show was on a Monday at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? And she missed her flight. She was supposed to be in the day before. We're going to have rehearsals all day. Somehow missed that flight, so she didn't come in till the next day. It got delayed. She got there at noon, and the doors opened at 1. Yeah. So we had about an hour just to run the, intros and endings, and it was stressful. And it was kind of compounded by the, it was compounded by the fact that when she showed up, she went straight to the refrigerator and got pissed off because there was no wine in the refrigerator. The wine was on her rider, and Jimmy Osmond, being Jimmy, didn't buy the wine, so she was pretty hot about that. But yeah, so we might have snuck her some wine too. So, yeah.
How many days did she play there?
2 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think a couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, we did 2 weeks with her.
Yeah. And she was super.
It was fun playing those tunes.
Yeah,
really
she was
good.
just fast and loose. She would start a song, and if the crowd wasn't feeling it, she'd just, hang on, let's play this song instead. She was fun. Yeah. Yeah, she was great. Last year, a couple years ago, we played with the Lettermen. You guys remember the Lettermen? And a group called The Cowsills. Hair, yeah. They were fun. They were kind of like Mary Wilson too, pretty loose.
I really enjoyed playing with them. It was good.
I did too. And the Lettermen were total pros. They were great.
Oh yeah,
great singers.
I did a Christmas run with the Lettermen too. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow we ended up playing with all these acts from the '60s and '70s.
All the acts I grew up watching on TV, I wound up playing with. That was good.
And I really kind of grew to, a lot of those. They kind of covered a lot of the same music. A lot of the Jimmy Webb songs and Burt Bacharach. We also did this. Jimmy had a show called the Moon River and Me Show that had a bunch of that kind of, music too. So I really grew to kind of love that '60s pop stuff. Man, it's good stuff. But I like everything. So.
Same here.
All right, Gene. What do you think? What else?
Stories.
Recording?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. Let's see.
We've been on several albums and live DVDs and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a couple Osmond. There's a live from London in 2006 DVD at the Hammersmith, and then there's one in 2008 from the O2 Arena. That I did that. Gene wasn't on that one. In 2008, the whole Osmond family with Donny Marie and everybody celebrated their 50th anniversary. And I got to do that tour. It was a world tour. It started in Ireland. We went to Ireland for a week, Belfast, and rehearsed there in the venue, the arena, where the first show was. Then it went down through the UK and went to Australia, then Asia before coming home. I think I was gone about, 2.5 months, something? Yeah, but there's a live DVD of that live in London too. But it's from the O2 Arena. And then we're also on, there's in 2012, they did the final UK tour, even though they went back 3 or 4 more times with us,
More than that.
Yeah. And they put a DVD out on that, which is actually my favorite. It's a really good quality DVD. I think they put that out on an album too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our band, The Dropouts, well, 3 of us, got to open all 51 dates.
We were the opening band, and then we jumped back and
We're
the
band.
backing band too, so
Yeah.
that was fun. Then we're on a couple, let's see, Merrill Osmond had a love song record.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Recorded that at Nick Sibley's.
Yeah.
It's here in town.
Yeah, there's several. In fact, a funny story. I think it was last Christmas, for some reason we had a party, and I was looking to find some holiday music to listen to, and I thought just for the heck of it, I'll pull up an Osmonds Christmas album, because they're a big Christmas family. So there's an album on there, and I was like, well, I've never seen that one. I don't remember seeing that one. Start listening to it, and it's stuff we were on that they recorded several years prior, and I never knew it came out or anything, but they put it out mainly in the UK, and it's all these, what's the Slade song? Merry Christmas, Everybody, and it's got a bunch of like British Christmas kind of stuff on it, but I had no idea it was put out,
Yeah.
Never got paid for anything. But,
No.
yeah. I'm still waiting on the royalty check. Yeah. Yeah, there's several things like that I kind of forgot over the years too. They did a 70s album of 70s covers, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Merrill did a Beatles deal,
Yeah.
a Beatles tribute album we played on, which was fun. I love the Beatles.
Never do any TV shows that they did?
Yeah, I was on Good Morning America with them back when in that 50th anniversary tour in 2008. They did the tour in 2008, but they did a show live from Las Vegas. It was like a TV special thing.
PBS, right?
Yeah, a PBS soundstage deal. And I was on that, and then while we were doing that, we had to get up at like 5 o'clock one morning and do a live feed to the Good Morning America set and played a couple songs. Yeah. And that was rough, because I'm not a 5 o'clock a.m. kind of person. So.
Did you do that from Branson?
That was from Las Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got to play Las Vegas several times over the years.
We used to play Vegas
like twice a year.
at least twice a year, yeah. We would play at the Suncoast, and then their sister hotel they had called the Orleans. The Suncoast was way out on a beautiful golf course. Really, it was further away from the Strip, but I liked
nice.
playing there better. It was beautiful. The Orleans was bigger. The Orleans is right there off of Tropicana, and it was. But we would be one of those places every 6 months. Just rotate every 6 months, and did that for like a dozen years. And then normally, when we're out there, we would go to Laughlin. Anyone been to Laughlin, Nevada? Don Laughlin's Riverside Casino in Hellhole. Yeah.
You played there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah, Roy played there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Or Mesquite. We'd go to Mesquite.
We got to Jimmy rented jet skis in Laughlin one time.
We had a blast one day on the Colorado River.
Fun.
Yeah. He rented like 8 jet skis for the band and crew, and we just ripped up and down, and yeah.
There was nothing else to do in Laughlin, so that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. We played Reno sometimes after going to Vegas. I remember playing Vegas, and then we rented a car, and we're all in flip-flops and shorts. It's hot. Rent a car to go to Reno and drive through a freaking blizzard on the way there.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, it was like up in the mountains, and it was snowing and ice and cold. Then you kind of went back down to Reno. It was all right, but I remember stopping to get gas in flip-flops and shorts in a blizzard. And I was like, I did not think this out. That was pretty stupid. So.
Do you remember that the charity show we got to do in Miami?
Oh, yeah.
It was a brain cancer thing or something, but the Beach
Oh,
Boys, Gloria Gaynor, Lou Gramm, who was the other one? Tito.
Yeah, so everybody on the bill was somebody who had been affected by brain cancer, right? So Wayne Osmond had a brain tumor. One of the Beach Boys had died.
Lou Gramm from Foreigner had a brain tumor.
So it was, the Osmonds, the Beach Boys,
Gloria Gaynor.
Gloria Gaynor, I don't know what her connection was. Lou Gramm, Tito Puente Jr., and one of Ziggy Marley's, or Bob Marley's kids.
Yeah.
Ziggy Marley, I guess, maybe. And it was a lot of fun, and we met John Stamos, the actor, was with the Beach Boys down there. And we met his, he had a bodyguard named Mikey G, who we hit it off and got to be good friends with. And we've stayed good friends with him. In fact, last time we were in New York, he owns a nightclub up there called Bathtub Gin. It's like a speakeasy.
I remember the first time he took us there. You walk in,
Yeah.
it looks like a coffee shop. It's like, what the heck
Yeah, you
are
have
we going to?
Yeah, you go to a door in the back and knock, and they'll let you in. And
And then it's like a bathtub, and they do a burlesque thing, and like an old speakeasy. It's cool.
Yeah, but he got us into there's a famous nightclub down there called the Fountain Blue. Anyone heard of
Miami?
that? Yeah. So yeah, we were a bunch of hillbillies down there wearing, once again, flip-flops and shorts. And he takes us to this party. John Stamos was going to go, and anyway, he ended up not going, but the bodyguard took us. And we walk in, and it looks like something out of a movie with everyone's dressed real nice and a bunch of supermodels, you know.
But yet we're in the VIP section.
Waiting to get in, and they walk us right past and walk us right to the front in the VIP section. And it was the what's his name, the penthouse guy, Bob Guccione.
Yeah.
Had a suite there, and everyone's looking at us like, who are these hillbillies? What are they doing? You know.
We had a couple Beach Boys with us.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. John Cowsill actually was playing drums for the Beach Boys. You know, he was the drummer for the Cowsills when they started out. And
He's been with them for years.
He's not with them anymore.
Right.
And we hung out with him for a couple days, and this is well before we played with the rest of his brothers and sisters, you know. And he was a riot. He was nuts. I remember going out and then finally calling it a night pretty early, you know, in the morning. Go back to the hotel, and we're outside the hotel room, and, you know, hey, have a good night, you know, see you at breakfast or whatever. Shut my door, and immediately there's a knock, and I open it up, and he just walks right through my room, right to the balcony, opens it up, and starts climbing around the ledge. And it didn't say a word, and as he's climbing around, he goes, "Forgot my key," you know. It's like, you're gonna die. It's like, great, that'll make the news. I was always kind of afraid anyhow I would end up, you know, like if something bad happens to a celebrity, it's always, you know.
And others.
Yeah, Ricky Nelson and 3 others died in a plane crash. Well, so many times I thought for sure I was going to be the other, you know.
It'd be a good band name, And Others.
The other, yeah. Some of the, we used to do a lot of cruise ships. I think I've been on like 40 cruises playing with the Osmonds as guest entertainers. And they would fly us into, like if the cruise ship left from Florida, it'd go around the Caribbean and go back to Florida. They would fly us somewhere in the middle, like, you know, Jamaica or Aruba or somewhere, spend the night there, then get on and play for that group of people. Then we'd stay on when that group of passengers got off, and another group would come on. So we'd be on for a week and play 2 nights, but you play for 2 different groups of passengers. But they would fly us in at the worst times to the worst parts of the country. You know, we'd fly it into Jamaica and have to go from, what is it, Kingston to, what's the other big city? I'm drawing a blank. What is it? Yeah, but you'd get in at 2 in the morning, and it used to be, it's not so bad now, but it's like a dirt road, and there's no lanes, and you're in this little van, and you're leaning against a door, and it keeps popping open. I'm like, I'm going to die now. Yeah, and then, one time I was playing in Cheyenne, Wyoming, with one of with the Lennon Sisters, and 2 of the Lennon Sisters would not fly. One of them did, so 2 of them drove, and I flew up with Mimi Lennon, and we ended up getting on a plane. I don't know, I think we flew into Jackson Hole, I don't know, we flew into some town, and then got in another plane to fly to the Cheyenne, and it was the smallest plane I've ever been in my life. It looked like something out of the Indiana Jones movie, you know, where there's chickens running around, and then turbulence hit. You could see the storm. It was beautiful, but I mean, we were like dropping, felt like 50 feet, you know, every time a thunder would clap and you just drop. And I thought, man, here, Lennon sister and one other is going to make the news here. So, yeah. Yeah.
We had a deal like that with the tornadoes in Ohio. Do you remember that, flying around the tornadoes?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
People were screaming and
Yeah.
luggage was banging. Yeah.
Wayne Osmond used to be a pilot.
Oh,
Yeah. Wayne was a pilot, flew planes on his own before he had a brain tumor. Then he stopped flying. But we did a little, where were we?
it's a Christmas tour.
Yeah, Christmas tour. It was cold, rainy, and we got on another little plane like that. And we were sitting, I think.
By
it was-
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne and me and you.
Yeah.
And it's rainy and,
Icy.
and everything. And Wayne's like, oh, this plane. Oh, I know this plane real well. Yeah, these
He
things
said
are.
the name of it, but I can't remember the name of it.
They're notorious.
It's a prop. It's a prop
yeah,
plane.
prop. Yeah, they're notorious for getting ice on the wings and they'll just flip over upside down.
They don't know why.
And yeah, and then he just rolls over and goes to sleep. And we're like, damn it, Wayne. Don't tell me that. Yeah.
You remember hitting every bar in Nashville that night?
I
Hit
don't.
every single bar in Nashville.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? We did.
Do not.
It wasn't Nashville, Tennessee. Where was it? Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Little Nashville, Indiana.
Yes. But we hit every bar in town.
Yeah.
That's bragging rights there.
Yeah. There's only 3 or 4 of them, but yeah.
No, there's more.
My wife was.
There was enough she thought you were dead.
She did. My wife thought I was dead, yeah. We had poor phone signal, and she was trying to get a hold of me and couldn't get a hold of me, so she Googled on the phone to see where I was at, and it showed that I was in a bank. So she thought
was
I was
our
in some
hotel.
bank robbery, and she was calling for backup. So. Yeah. Anyway.
You got to tell the Jay story on the cruise ship. That's one of my favorites. What?
Oh, Jay Osmond, yeah. Golly. Like I said, we were on a ton of cruises, and there's always massive food on the cruises and big buffets. And Jay, he was quite a character. Kind of, great guy. Anyway, I walk up, go to the buffet one day, and he walks up, or I walk up there, and he's sitting there with his tray, and he's like locked up. His eyes are watering, he's sweating, and he can barely speak. And he goes, "Oh, Stevie, hot. And I was like, "What?"
You thought he was having a heart attack.
Yeah, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke or something. And we were in the Asian section, and there's a little guy behind the cook that goes, "He's crazy. He eat whole ball of wasabi." He thought it was guacamole, so he got a chip of wasabi and put the whole thing in his mouth, and he was locked up. I mean, yeah.
Tell them about Meryl and Mary when we were when we went to the bathroom on the tour bus.
I don't remember that. No.
Do you remember when they got left?
Oh,
we were
yeah.
on one of the big UK
like straight
tours.
out of Spinal Tap, yeah, in the
Yeah.
UK, yeah.
So
we stopped at a service station, and everybody gets back on, and we're
The
rolling
bus
down.
driver was supposed to do a count, and
Yeah.
he messed up. Anyway,
Yeah.
Merrill and his wife got left.
Yeah, they get a phone call from Merrill. Who'd he call? One of us, right? Because
Yeah,
yeah,
I think he called. Yeah,
yeah,
called me. I think.
yeah. Where you at? We're on the bus. Where are you? I'm back at the gas station. So and he barely made it. We were like, I swear we were an hour down the road. I don't know what took him so long. But yeah, he must have took a nap in the toilet or something. But yeah, he barely made that gig. Yeah. It's amazing how, playing with the Osmonds are pretty strict Mormons, very good people, but
They're fun.
we had a lot of fun, yeah. Yeah.
Listen to them sing harmony like in the bus or the van. Remember that? How,
Yeah, they were good. They could really
tight
they had that family
blend.
yeah. Same with the Lennon Sisters. They were great too, yeah. Lennon Sisters, I always liked playing with them because they made you feel little classier, suit and tie and play these beautiful arrangements, and they were great. Yeah.
We got to do a Christmas tour with Marie Osmond. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's when she was doing Dancing with the Stars. You remember when she was on that? And
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
practicing, like when we were sound checking, she was practicing off to the side with that guy she was
Yeah, her
dancing with, like,
Dancing with the Stars
constantly.
partner, she would bring him. She was doing weekends with the brothers the whole time she was doing that show.
Yeah.
and you'd be playing, and she'd be over there with her, doing her dance move. You'd watch that on a Saturday, then you'd go home on like Monday or Tuesday and
See her do it, yeah.
watch her do the actual routine. And that another time this happened. Remember when she fainted and passed out on TV? Yeah. Then my uncle called me again. What'd you do with what happened to Marie? What have you been doing? Yeah. So, wasn't me.
Bad track record.
Yeah.
Are they pretty good musicians?
The Osmonds?
Actually, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Yep. They, like Merrill, at perfect pitch. I mean,
Yeah.
he could, if anybody's playing a wrong note anywhere, I mean, he could pick up if somebody's flat singing. He's got a heck of an ear.
The first recording I ever did with them, we're doing some Christmas music, and I was doing this guitar thing, and my intonation was just like that much out, like up high, and I didn't know, but he caught it, and I had to go redo it. Yeah, and it was like just barely off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all retired.
They're pretty much all retired. Gene's playing with Jay this weekend.
There's a fan event I'm doing
Yeah.
with Jay this weekend in Branson. Yeah, 200 fans.
Yeah, acoustic thing.
Yeah. Just me and Jay.
Yeah.
Still playing Branson?
No, the last time I played in Branson was 2 years ago with the Lettermen and The Cowsills.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I play with a band called Members Only, which is an 80s tribute band, regional thing. I shave the white beard when I play with them. So.
What's going on in Branson? Is there any kind of draw, folks that draw down there?
I don't really know, to be honest with you.
I know a lot of them are kind of struggling, I think.
Yeah, I know a lot, a lot of gigs down there don't pay like they used to. So it's, yeah. Yeah, it's,
And they didn't used to pay that good.
yeah, it was never great. Yeah.
Well, it was in the early 90s. It was.
I think
Yeah.
during the heyday it paid
Yeah,
really
see
well.
that-
I made great money.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was before me. I
I didn't start till like
a little later.
2001. Yeah.
Yeah. We played with an Elvis guy, too, kind of coming for full circle.
Yeah.
We played with an Elvis impersonator down there named Tony Roy, who was...
Tony was good.
He was
really good.
he was the Legends guy in Las Vegas. And then he moved here and was in the Legends show. Then the first year he did his own show, we played with him. And you played with him a couple years after that.
I did, yeah.
But he was, still to this day, he was the best Elvis impersonator I've ever seen. I thought he was great.
Looked like him and sounded like him.
That's the problem. He really thinks he's Elvis. Is the problem.
Yeah.
But he was.
Oh, you played with him too. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. He was uncanny when you're playing those. I mean, he was great.
When we first started with him, he was in that movie Priscilla and Me. He was the
Yeah.
Elvis on stage, I guess. Yeah. TV movie.
Quite a few times, too, right?
Yeah. I love playing with him though,
It was
because he was
fun.
so good.
Yeah.
And he would pick out, like, I don't know if you remember, but he would go, the whole show was this live album by Elvis, so you'd do those versions of that, because he was pretty meticulous about it,
I remember that one time he wanted to do Viva Las Vegas and decided that on break. You remember? We worked it up on break.
Yeah.
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 In intermission, we played it.
Yeah.
Were you with Jimmy when the rumors had it that he was bringing Knott's Berry Farm in?
Oh, I don't remember that. No.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah.
No. He was always up to something.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah.
And we used to play, Busch Gardens a lot too. Every year we'd do this, a week down there?
Yeah.
And then one year, he did a solo Christmas show down there. And I was there for a month with him playing down there. And that was the most cake gig ever, because I think we played, 3 nights a week, something like that, 45-minute shows. And I was that's when I figured out I can't wait to be a retired older man, because I lived in Florida in a condo, and that's all I did, just hung out, cooked, went to the gym, and then drank coffee and played 3 shows a week, 45 minutes. Yeah. I got spoiled on that, so.
Didn't we do we did 3:45s a day when we played there with the Osmonds, remember?
Yep, we used to, and that was great
That was
too,
easy
yeah.
too, though. But
Yeah.
They have their own plane.
No, well, they used to.
Yeah, Wayne used to fly it, I guess.
Yep, Wayne used to fly it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't have their own plane when I played with them, because
Yeah, me too.
that was freaked me out. The Osmonds and 3 others. Yeah. But it was, Wayne, I can't imagine Wayne flying with Wayne. I'm sure he was a good pilot, but he was crazy. So yeah. Wayne had he would get into these weird habits and just obsess over it, like eating carrots.
Oh, his skin turned orange.
Yeah,
It really did.
we were playing in Branson one season, and he was obsessive about playing gin rummy. He'd be sitting there waiting for us to show up and have the cards dealt. "Hey guys, let's play. We'd take a break. Let's play. Just every break, if you had a 10-minute break in the show, he'd be wanting to play, but he would just eat carrots all the time. Finally, the doctor told him to quit eating carrots because his skin was turning orange.
For real.
Wow. Yeah.
Jonesy was that way. During his break, we'd go upstairs and we'd play poker.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Had all the poker all set out, and it was a continued game between brothers.
Wow, yeah. We got, like at the Moon River, Jimmy bought the Moon River Theater after Andy Williams passed away. And we started doing those Christmas shows. It was like the big Andy Williams Christmas extravaganza thing, and it was the Osmonds and the Lennons, and they had, they'd have a quick change artist and a magician and a comedian. It was all based off like an old Andy Williams variety show. But it was a great gig because, it was cool because we had all these massive video screens, and it was
dancers.
It was something to see. It was amazing how they pulled it off every night because the whole set would move back and forth, and video screens. Everything's timed to the split second, and it was like a marvel watching that, But it was good for us because we'd come out, play like the opening 2 numbers, then the curtain would drop, and they would sing a song to a track in front of the curtain while they're striking the stage and setting up for like the magician, And so we would have these long, we'd play 3 songs, be off for 10 minutes, play 2 more songs, be off for 15 minute 30-minute intermission, So it was easy gig, but yeah, there was a a lot of card playing backstage, and they had an old arcade game. I spent a lot of time on that thing. So.
Did he still own it? Is he still own it?
Sold it a couple years ago. Yeah. In fact, a couple years ago, when we went back there and played the Christmas thing with the Cowsills and the Lettermen, the people that own the big candy factory on the way to like near
Uranus,
Lebanon.
right?
Yeah.
The Uranus one, yeah.
Redmond's.
Oh.
They
sorry.
bought the theater and had it for a year, and by the end of that year, they're like, we're not cut out for this, I guess. So sold it. Now it's some company bought it, and they're kind of turning it into a kind of like the Sight and Sound Theater. It's being gutted right now, and it's
You're kidding.
now it's
Like a Bible thing.
yeah, they're sinking a ton of money in it, but it's still going to have a stage. It's still going to be the Andy Williams Theater, but they're completely changing it inside. And I feel lucky to have played there so many years. That
Yeah.
was kind of my home away from home. Oh yeah, I loved
Yeah.
playing that theater. Yeah,
Great room.
I loved playing that theater. Yeah, and we got of course, Andy Williams had a big connection with the Osmonds, so we.
Kind of discovered it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to meet him and played some shows with him. In fact, that show in Las Vegas in 2007 for the TV special, they flew him out and he was on that. Played with him there. So
He used to bring us leftovers. We did the morning show for a while. He brought, like, from his parties and stuff, he'd bring us food and stuff. He was cool.
Oh, his band
Very nice.
was over to Fernando's all the time in Springs and hang out.
oh yeah,
Yeah. What was that girl drummer, Rosa?
Rosa, yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
Killer.
Bogey, there's a
Bogey,
couple
yeah.
Christmas seasons where Gene
Yeah.
couldn't do it, so
Yep.
Bogey played, and he's a character.
Yeah.
Remember was Bruce Wyndham still with him, or guitar player?
I don't know him. I don't.
Cowsills, in my youth, I came out with their hit song, "The Rain Park."
Yeah,
That's a,
Got a 10-year contract at Ed Sullivan, biggest thing in a long time, but I knew they were still around. Have they ever had any other hits? or-
they still put out albums. They've got new albums out, and they still tour all the time, and they got quite a story. Anyone don't know anything about the Cowsills? They were the inspiration for the Partridge Family.
and they were going to star on that show, I guess, but then they figured out they couldn't act,
Yeah.
so they didn't use them.
Yeah. Yeah.
David Cassidy took that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah. We
We got to know him.
Yeah.
because we did a couple tours with him.
I knew they were still touring, but I just never knew if they ever had any top hits or whether they were just a good, entertaining group.
Not since Aquarius and the Rain Park and other things, where it was called.
The Rain Park and other things, and Indian Lake.
Oh,
that
Indian
was
Lake.
yeah.
And they can't
Of course,
play that at casinos anymore.
Yeah, Hair was their big hit. That was fun playing that stuff with them. Yeah, they were a funny group of people too. Yeah, very cool.
It's a set. Are you like a two-piece set? I mean, you played in all the same bands?
No, it's
just from working with the Osmonds, we wound up working with all those other people, you know what I mean? And then our own bands that we've been in. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
noticed that, who played bass?
different. Keyboards and bass players get fired, I guess. So
But
they
we were
keep
the
it-
constant. We were the constant, yeah.
No, we didn't do everything together. I mean, we've done like back in 2017. There was, Wayne Osmond had retired in like 2012, so it left the three brothers, and then that was Jimmy, Jay, and Merrill. Well, Jay and Merrill were they were going to split up. 2017, they did a big tour in England, and that was the last time the Osmonds worked together. That's the three of them. And then for about a year after that, it kind of worked out pretty good where I was playing with both of them. Like Jimmy would have stuff and it wouldn't conflict, and with Jay and
We did
Merrill
the
stuff.
Moon River and Me stuff with him.
Yeah.
Andy Williams tribute.
Yeah, and it worked out, and I was still as busy as ever. Well, then after that, there was some conflicts, and I joked that Jay and Merrill got Gene into divorce, and Jimmy took me into divorce. So, yeah.
I wound up doing a bunch of stuff in the UK with him, and
Yeah.
he did a bunch of stuff here with him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you ever play with Donny?
yeah, quite a bit. That tour in 2007 and 2008, when they were kind of celebrating their 50th anniversary, Donny produced. So this tour in 2008 was like massive, and it was like I said in England they had a resurgence. They were huge in the 70s, but back in the 2000s they kind of started having a resurgence. And in 2008 on that tour with Donny and Marie, we sold out. I didn't. No one bought tickets to see me, but
Sure they did.
2 nights at Wembley, not arena or not stadium. The Wembley Stadium holds like 60,000 people. Wembley Arena is right next door. It holds like 12,000.
14 maybe.
14,
something like that,
yeah. So sold out 2 nights there. So they added a 3rd night across town at the O2 Arena, and that's where they ended up filming that DVD. But Donny produced that whole every aspect of that show. He knew. I mean, he was the producer of that show, and it's so funny because like we'd be on doing these once in a lifetime shows with the Osmonds, the brothers in the UK. And we'd be on the way to the gig, and they'd be like arguing about trying to figure out what songs to play, on our way there, playing in an arena. There's, 10,000 people. Donny, it wasn't that way when you worked with Donny. Donny, like that tour, they did a week's rehearsal in Utah. We had a week in Utah, right, of just rehearsing. Then they had a week rehearsal in the venue in Ireland before the tour started in the venue. The brothers, that's more than the brothers rehearsed their entire lives, I think,
More than I had in 20 years with him, I think.
Yeah. They did not like to rehearse, yeah.
Speaking of Utah, you should say what you got to play at in Utah.
Oh, yeah. So the biggest venue I've ever played, believe it or not, is the Mormon Tabernacle Church. Yeah.
How many does that hold?
22,000.
Does it really?
I was shocked, but it doesn't look. I mean, it looks big.
Yeah.
But like the O2, when you're standing there,
It's
it
huge.
looks massive.
Yeah.
The Mormon Tabernacle, it's set up more
Deceptively
like a
big.
church,
Right.
so it's deceptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah.
When did, Gene, when did you all meet, or when did you grow up together, or when did you start?
Well, my band Naked Zoo that I was in, that's when we met, when his band was at Johnny Law.
Yeah.
He
Terrible
was, He was a
band, yeah.
kid, and they opened for us at Fletcher's.
Yeah.
And we kind of were friends.
Yeah.
Then when you started we'd known each other and everything, but then he started with Merrill in 2004. That's when we...
3, yeah, is when I got to the gig.
2003, yeah.
Yeah.
So you both went to school here?
No, I'm a Kansas boy, Columbus, Kansas.
Yeah, yeah.
So I grew up around all the Joplin guys, like Stevie Gaines was from Skinnerd, was from my old stomping grounds. But like all the musicians I knew him, but I was just a little younger, but I knew guys that played with him and stuff, but I never met him. Yeah.
You know Steve Duncan?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Do you remember Roadhog? Do you remember?
Yeah, John Moss
Yeah, I knew John. Yeah.
and Strickler. I can't think of his name.
Do you remember Roadhog? Yeah, I wound up playing with those guys.
Zachary Bowe.
Oh, Zachary Bowe. Mirror was my first band, and then the Darts. So yeah, I remember Zachary Bowe. Of course I
You
do.
ever play the Gay Arena Ballroom?
In Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Or the Tower?
I played the Tower. Yeah, with my band Mirror. Yeah. That was a cool place. Remember Shooting Star from Kansas City? I saw them there. And a bunch of,
Blesser was booking them before the Dares.
right?
Star, that's the band he wanted to make.
I thought they were great myself. Yeah, I loved them. Yeah. Yeah. Tower was a cool room. You'd like that. Yeah.
Cool.
I and the Bellhops was the first rock band in Pittsburgh.
All right.
Yeah, and then Connie went on to Sound 7 and had a long career there. I played with them.
When you played at Fletcher's, was Chris out there running it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, and he was hanging out when I played at Ramones. He was hanging out there all the
Yeah.
time, and he died
Yeah.
while
The first little rock festival out of the farm out there on East
Oh wow,
Division Street and everything.
oh wow.
He bought this band, it was brother, Janis Joplin's band. They were all fake though. It was all-
Big
Oh,
Brother and
Big
the Holding
Brother,
Company.
yeah.
He showed up in this school bus, and we went, that's not Big Brother. He took a bath on that one.
Yeah.
How about Hank Rotten?
Yep, I know him. Yep. Brian Richardson played with him that was in Roadhog and a band called Atomic Bob with me.
Alan Ross.
Yep, know him. Yep.
I'm guessing Leo Sayer's not hanging out with the Lennon Sisters.
He could. He could, yeah.
They don't know who they are in England. They don't know the Lennon Sisters.
Yeah, Leo Sayer was, man, talk about a singer.
He is good.
He was so good, and he's still great, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
For the drummer here.
Yeah.
When I look at a drum chart, man, it's like so much ink and so much going on. How did you, as a kid, you said you started in 5th grade, did you start reading and following the charts?
Yeah, it's school band, but I wish I took reading way more seriously when I was younger, because I got into the, playing with Tony. I remember going to the Tony gig, and they handed out number charts.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a Nashville number system? It looks like math homework, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I have no idea. And I always follow these guys into, the drummers I ended up following into these gigs, the Osmonds gigs, stuff like that. They were fantastic readers, and I never went to school for it, so I did a lot of learning on the job, Jeff's a good, you probably read way better than I do, but yeah.
Tough duty there, man.
It is, and I used to, on those cruise ships, they would just take me, and I would take all the charts, and they would use the cruise ship orchestra. Normally a bass player, guitar player, piano player, and 3 or 4 horns, and I would take the charts and rehearse them. And I caught on fairly, not quick enough, but the first time I did that, we get on board and we rehearse with the band, and then literally right before we go on, they come up and go, hey, we do this cruise director walk-on. We introduce him, so here this is, and it'd give me like a trombone chart of it'd be like, the Tonight Show theme or something. I'm like, shit, is this Chinese? What? I can't read this, So I had to do my homework pretty quick on that. Yeah, and I wish I went to school or, got some formal training on that. I took drum lessons as a kid or, even as an adult, but the reading thing I've always felt a little inferior on, but I kind of worked out my own system, kind of like the the Nashville number system is kind of an easy way to do it, and it's just, you just kind of make a road map. You know, a lot of those charts too, like real drum charts, a lot of them are open to interpretation. Most of the time you just get a master rhythm chart, like a piano chart, you know, and it's a road map. You're catching the hits and following along, you know, so. But I wish I went to North Texas State or something, so. But I didn't.
Well, I wish we weren't running out of tape here, but I like this kind of conversation. I want to thank both of you, Steve and Gene, for coming and doing this and sharing your musical life here in the last 20 years or so with us.
Thank you.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.